up with y'all, man? It's Mr. Zach, and I'm back with another one. Man, y'all do me a favor, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Turn on all post notifications so you guys get this content every time I drop a video. But today, man, I found this 35-year-old clip. It was in the 1990, and it was a Judiciary Sub-House Committee hearing over illegal immigration. And we had this black guy named Mr. Anderson. I want to say his name is Terry Anderson. And he was cooking, man. He was letting the Judiciary Committee know that illegal immigration was really affecting the black community. And the reason why I want to play this clip, because in the comments, man, I want y'all to leave a comment to let me know if this is actually resonating about or over, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but what's happening today. To me, it seems like it hasn't got any better. It seems like it has gotten worse due to the fact of Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is now aiding and abetting in illegal immigration. And it's not right. So let me know in the comments, man, as y'all watching this clip, has anything ever changed? It seemed like to me it got worse. Like I said, it got worse. Nothing has changed. It's crazy. 35 years ago that you would think things would have gotten better. But anyway, man, let's get to the content. Let's go. And oh yeah, before we get to this content, man, this is about Los Angeles, how illegal immigration is affecting the black community in Los Angeles.
You all, and we will begin our second panel with the testimony of Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, sir. I feel very privileged to be here, and I thank you for inviting me. I want to tell you of my reality. I live in South Central Los Angeles. I've lived there all my life. And I speak from the black perspective because I am black and I live in a predominantly black community. The problem with illegal immigration, whenever it comes up, is that people always give one side and never give the other side. They talk about the poor immigrant who comes here for a better life. They talk about the poor immigrant child who must be educated in our schools. They talk about the immigrant worker who works harder than the black person works, and he will take the job that nobody else takes. What you never hear is the other side of the story. You never hear that every time that illegal alien comes here, he displaces somebody else. That side is never mentioned. Whenever this subject comes up, you have organizations who step forth and advocate for the illegal alien. You have MALDEF, MECHA, LULAC, La Raza, and other race-based organizations who are exclusive only to one race of people and advocate for those people only.
And in today's times, we have Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. I mean, it is what it is.
You never hear the other side of the story. The other side of that story is that somebody is harmed by them being here. I speak of my community because it's where I live. You will never hear from these people about the 17-year-old black kid in my neighborhood who went to McDonald's and was told, you can't work here because you don't speak Spanish.
Wow.
I don't say that happens all the time. I'm telling you of one instance of many that does happen. He was told that he couldn't work there because in the kitchen there would be confusion because most of the workers there were Hispanic and only spoke Spanish in the kitchen, and his English, his native language, would confuse issues, so he couldn't have a job at McDonald's.
And that was actually happening back in those days, in the 90s. I graduated high school in 1991, and I considered getting me a fast food job, but when you walked in there, man, it was like he said, they wasn't hiring blacks at that time. You know, this man is speaking facts.
They don't tell you about the 8-year-old little black girl in my community who sits in a classroom all day long and goes home and tells her father, Daddy, I'm not learning anything in school. So being a good father, he goes down to the school and asks the teacher why. And the little girl looks at him and looks at the teacher at the same time and says, because all they do is speak Spanish in my classroom all day. Now, there are advocates who will tell you, well, that's good. She's learning Spanish. She is not learning Spanish. She is listening to Spanish. There are translations all day long in that classroom for the immigrant child, for the illegal alien child, so that he can learn in his native language, and they don't care what happens to the little black girl. So he asked the teacher, can we get my child an all-English classroom? She says, let's ask the principal. The principal says, sure, and hands them a paper. He fills out the paper. The paper's for busing. He says, wait a minute, this is my neighborhood school. Why can't my daughter go to the same school that I went to in this neighborhood? He says, we have no English-only classrooms in this school.
That's crazy. That is crazy because when I was going to school back in the days, man, it was a predominantly black school. I mean, you had your Latino spread through here and there, but as time started progressing, man, it just started, the demographics started changing. It really did. Like, the schools I went to, man, like I said, it was predominantly black. You had a sprinkle of, Latinos, but as years went by, man, it was like, the classes were so crowded, and when you looked around, man, it was nothing but Latinos there, and they were speaking Spanish like that. Like, we didn't, I sat in class and you hear them speaking Spanish, and it's like, what are they saying? What are they saying? And you did have teachers who actually leaned towards the Spanish speaking people. We had a little thing saying, man, only speak English. But was that happening? Was they trying to change that? No. Y'all, mind you, man, this clip is 35 years old, man. It's 35 years old, and present time, man, it got worse. It got worse, man. Let's keep going, man. This man is cooking. Let him keep cooking. Let's go.
Now his child has to be bused 20 miles in order to learn in English and get a 6-hour education instead of a 3-hour education. They will never tell you that. I'm sure that has never been mentioned in this room. What else has not been mentioned in this room is the $100,000 house on my street that sold for $137,000. Many black people came and looked at that house, but they were not allowed to buy it, and I'm going to tell you why. It was a $100,000 house that was sold for $37,000 more than it was worth because 5 families went on that deed to qualify it financially.
Exactly. Man, but he said $100,000. Man, yeah, look, this is 35 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Real estate, the houses wasn't that expensive, but he got a point. It really was like that. It was like that, man. You would have the Hispanic people going and buying the house. It'd be 4 or 5, 6 different families in there. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was tripping, but I wasn't. It was really like that. They were buying up the houses. Like the neighborhood I came from, man, every house that person moved out of, American citizen moved out of, they had other races coming in to buy the house. And that's just facts. It's real. It's facts. That's exactly what was happening back in them times. And now you look at it, it's like the neighborhood I came from, man, it's only a few people who had houses there for years. The original people that was there still living there. But 99% of the neighborhood, man, has changed. It really has changed.
Now, you're telling me now that if my son wants to buy a house, he has to go and find 4 additional families to live there so that he can pay this inflated cost. You always hear about the real estate market in California, how it's booming, how it's great. The reason it's great is because illegal aliens are buying every single house in that city. I have had 9 houses in the last 5 years on my street, and not one of those houses has gone to black people. 9 of them for sale. And there have been many blacks who have came and looked at these houses, but they can't buy them. Somehow, they don't qualify. I sense racism here. See, racism isn't just from white folks to black folks. It's from anybody to anybody. And that's what I see happening here. This is out and out racism. It is a definite problem.
It is. It is.
And it's not just the entry-level jobs. It's not just the housing, not just the schooling. Our skilled black workers in Los Angeles cannot find jobs. I'm talking bricklayers. I'm talking concrete. I'm talking roofers. I'm talking framers. I'm talking body and fender men who were making $20 an hour in the 70s, and now they can't get a job in South Central unless they're willing to make $7 or $8 an hour. This is ridiculous.
And like now, today's time, fast forward, they saying that American citizens don't want to do them type of jobs. Man, we were out here trying. You know what I'm saying? We were out here trying. We want to do it to today. But, you know, they want to paint a picture like only hardworking Hispanics that do those jobs. And guess what? That's all we see now. It's like they discriminated the black folks up out of those industries. You know, I know a few general contractors who are fighting and have to bid low to get certain jobs, which is crazy, you know. And it's just crazy to see this 35-year-old clip of how times were in the 90s resonating to what's happening today, and it has gotten worse. It's gotten worse.
Absolutely ridiculous. And the problem is not being addressed by our elected officials. We have gone to them, we have begged them, please help us, and a deaf ear is turned. It has been my experience, my personal experience, that when black elected officials talk, they speak in terms of minorities and people of color. When the advocates of the illegal alien speaks, he speaks about Latinos. We are always left out of the equation. We are never included in the equation.
Man.
We have laws on the books to address these problems, but nobody has the resolve to step forward and use these laws.
How do we keep this type of immigration from having such an adverse impact on so many members of our society and so many people who are in the country legally?
I think the problem here is denial.
Wow.
The elected officials refuse to address the problem. The black elected officials refuse to address the problem.
And they do refuse to address the problem. The black elected officials, Karen Bass, she wants to harbor and she wants to help the other side. When I say the other side, the people that are not supposed to be here. And we seeing that and we're seeing that right now. Let me say it like that. With assistance, cash assistance. You know, you have Brandon Johnson. He's a black elected official. We have Mayor Eric Adams. He's a black elected official. And they are actually giving our resources, taxpayers' resources, to help with people that ain't supposed to be here. They don't want to address the issue. They think they're doing what's right, and it's actually harming the American community. You know, this is a 35-year-old clip, and you would think, like I said, that things would change, but it hasn't. It has gotten worse.
My own congressman refuses to address the problem, and I think the problem is black folks see all minorities as allies. And this is not the case. These people are not here for our common good. They're here for their own good. Where I don't have any ill will towards anybody
either,
I also want to look out for my race.
Yes, sir.
I'm a black American. I've never used a hyphen. But I will refuse to turn my back on my race and see what's going on in South Central to my people and let these people come in here and just take over. I'm not going to sit back and watch it. And I think it's a terrible thing, a horrendous thing, for anybody to see this going on and say, well, he's a minority like me, so I won't speak up. I don't care where he comes from. The key to this whole thing is stop the denial, stop the alliances of In other words, he's a minority like me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir. It's the numbers. Man. They come here in the numbers. They build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media.
They sure didn't. It sure didn't make the media because back in those times, man, they used to have these riots, man, in Banning High School in the city of Wilmington. And the city of Wilmington is predominantly a Latino city. And prior to that, man, it used to be black, you know, and you had black high school students and Latino high school students, and man, you would always hear about it, but it would never make the news. You would have to know people to hear what it was going on in them high schools back then, you know, and it was crazy. We would hear about them and be like, damn, that's crazy to have to go to a high school and you have to fight over because you black or because you Hispanic. Race wars. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, it possibly spilled over into the streets, but I know for sure in high school, that particular high school, man, used to always have, or we used to always hear about blacks and Latinos fighting with each other. It was ridiculous back then.
The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society. Economic, schools, even in our prisons now. They have drawn lines, and our prisoners in California are being beat and harassed and raped by Hispanic gang members who recently arrived here because of the numbers. My answer to you, sir, would be we don't need any new laws. Enforce the ones we got. Exactly. If you are illegal, you are just that. You are illegal. And back to Ms. Jackson, who I have the utmost respect for, she asked me, should McDonald's be prosecuted? Sure they should. But it's an individual thing. The owner of McDonald's is not the one. It's the man who owns the franchise. He's the one. And also the illegal alien who takes the job. Because if I leave my house and leave the door unlocked and somebody goes and takes my possessions, I still want that man prosecuted even though I left the door open.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Wow. Man. Man, let me know in the comments, man. Did you guys hear anything that has changed about illegal immigration? To me, it sounds like it got worse. We fast forwarding 35 years to right now. Has anything changed? I'm not saying that all Latinos are bad. We have a lot of good Latino families out here, but back then, man, it was ridiculous, man. And like I say, I blame the elected officials like Karen Bass. That it's like they're not trying to change what's actually going on and what's affecting the black community or anybody community with this illegal immigration. It is what it is illegal. And it's just a shame, man. But I found that clip, man. It was 35 years old. And when I first seen it, man, it kind of took me back to my youth because it was a lot of things, man, that the guy was saying that I remember, that I remember. And it's just crazy that, it was nothing learned from how it was affecting American citizens, illegal immigration. It's like these people here, man, these Democrats done doubled and tripled down and don't care about what nobody has to say because they looking to win elections. It doesn't matter to them how it affects us. And they don't care. They don't care. We seeing that right now. They do not care. But we do have some elections coming up. And I know who I'm going to vote for. I'm voting for change and common sense. Hope you do the same, man. Leave it in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Let me know how things are affecting you and your family. And, I pray that all you guys will be prosperous in life, man, But we got to change, man. We got to stop this illegal immigration, man. Like I say, if you here legally, if you're doing it the right way, I don't have a problem with you. But if you're doing it the wrong way and you complaining and if you don't like this country, get up out of the country, because it is law and order here. Law and order. It's crazy, man. Anyway, man, y'all protect yourself at all times. Keep your head on the swivel. God bless you. God bless me, man. And God bless America. And I'm out. Mr. Zach Reacts. Peace.